So good evening. I'd like to call the November 3rd school board meeting for MSAP 60 to order. And if we could all please stand and recite the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and now Elba, the vice chair, is going to read our public input statement.
The first public input session is a 21-minute session with each person having no longer than 3 minutes in which to make a statement, but a second public input session may be held at the end of the meeting if allowed by the board chair. The speaker will give his or her name, address, and reason for speaking. Public input is designated for district residents, but the board chair may grant non-residents the opportunity to address the board. Statements concerning subject matter that falls under the law regarding executive sessions, for example, matters involving personnel, cannot be made during public input. We as a community pledge to treat each other as we wish to be treated. We pledge to seek understanding when there may be disagreement. Regardless of outcomes or opinions, we pledge to move forward with respect.
Thank you, Elba. It doesn't look like we have anyone here for public input tonight. So let's move on to the minutes of the October 20th meeting. Did everybody have a chance to take a look at those?
Yeah, I had a question on the cycling club, which was on the first page. Proposed meeting with interested students. We'll get students out of work providing opportunities obscure to the school. And whatever you don't have. It was the obscure part. I read it twice and I wasn't. And I had a period on there.
Okay.
And then the next set of sentences down also a period. And then athletic, there's one. I didn't see anything else though.
Oh,
Anybody else?
There's Victoria.
In that same section, just one whole student report. Because it was a complete, I think that's the second paragraph. Alright, I was like, no, that's all under student report. Reading through separate paragraphs.
Gotcha. The question I had too was in the beginning, it said that Travis and, I'm sorry, that Stephanie were not here.
Right.
It was confusing to me because they weren't here for executive session, but they did come in.
Right, so they entered the meeting at a certain time.
Oh, you got that? Okay.
Yeah,
All
that should be
right.
in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Just as Ms. Thomas just entered the meeting at 7:03.
Got it. Okay.
But it still says that she's missing at the very, very beginning. So,
Okay, good. Thank you.
sure.
Do we have a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
Oh, there's Miss Denise.
Hi.
Hello.
Right.
I'll second the motion if it didn't get already seconded.
And now it's time for our student report from Echo.
Hold on, you gotta vote.
Need to vote on the
Oh, we
minutes.
didn't vote. Excuse me. All those in favor? Opposed?
We're voting on the minutes, Denise, as you popped in.
Okay.
Abstained.
Yes, I did read them.
And Nancy was abstaining.
What were the amendments?
A few periods.
Okay.
Appropriate. Appropriate. And I apologize. Who made the motion again? I was getting caught up.
Lauren,
Laura made the motion and.
I second it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Echo. Now we will go to the student report.
Well, I have a bit more about biking. They had their first meeting on Tuesday. I personally wasn't able to make it, but Bo Lambert is the person who was helping put it together, and his goals are to teach kids how to repair the bikes they already have, and he wants to organize group rides and then teach people how to make jewelry from bike spokes and stuff like that. And then also today, all students watched The First Day, which is a film by Chris Herron, and it really highlighted the significance of the beginning of a drug addiction rather than just the end. Because when people think of a drug addict, they think of somebody who's really rough looking and maybe on the brink of their death, but they don't think of how it started and why. So this really made people try to figure out like if they can prevent this from happening to themselves and just like bring a perspective that it starts somewhere. And was kind of set like a heavier and more thoughtful tone to the day. And that's all I have.
So was this film available for all students or was it particular classes?
It was an assembly in the auditorium.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I'm thinking too that the 8th grade did it as well, but I don't think they were part of the.
Yeah, they were like
They
in
did it
their,
own-
a room, they were watching.
Is it?
It's on the same doc that.
Perfect, got it.
Anybody have any questions for Echo?
I have a quick question, or it might be for Sue. Is that a film that's available? Like, how would one see that?
We did purchase the film. The district purchased the film.
Yeah, If
Yeah, so
you,
we do have it.
if you look it up online, it pops up too.
What was the title again?
On the first day.
Yeah.
Maybe put a link to it. Let me look at it. Let me figure that out.
Yeah, I'd be interested to watch that.
Got it.
And did you have discussion afterwards?
We had a bit of a debrief, but in my debrief class, there wasn't much of a discussion. It was kind of just like thinking. Hopeful.
Thank you. Okay, then if anybody else has any questions? All right, let's move on then to the board brochure second review.
I think Jen sent a hard, electronic copy. Here is the hard copy. And I think I already know that we probably need a title on this first cover sheet. So where the red line is, we probably MS 86. So what we tried to incorporate were some of the feedback that we had last time. We tried to get the public participation policy, more in a fashion, so we could open up the trifold. It's in the middle, and then to the right, we moved the board and responsibilities and just a couple of the types of board meetings to the left, and we put the mission statement on the front. I believe that was also the adoption are more similar than they were last time. That was-
So is this supposed to be the first one, or is this supposed to be the first one?
That part, the one with just the line without a title, that's where we should put MS 64 first meeting or something. Like,
Okay.
For the
Yeah.
back.
'Cause I went to this thinking it was the minute.
Denise, do you have the electronic copy?
I am just trying to get to it. I'm having some computer challenges today, so.
Okay,
I tried to open it up on the computer and I couldn't get it to open.
Huh, really?
if there's anything aesthetically worded from that one or.
Oh, where'd you go?
Or just the link.
Really nice.
Okay.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
No, you got the same thing I did.
Oh.
As far as I went, and it wouldn't let me go any further.
Wouldn't let you open the page when you clicked on the page?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
It opened up that other window and I couldn't go any further.
Yes, like the one on the back.
Yeah.
The no.
Now, did you open up the
Yeah.
salary contract one? That one was sideways. That one was annoying.
I opened that up on my phone first. And I was like, yeah, no,
So we put the
I
title
can't do that on my.
on the cover and then.
Yeah.
Sealed on it.
Purple.
Yeah.
Down there, put that in.
So I have like multiple pages.
You probably may have two.
The electronic version can have a little bit different.
Did it?
like 5 separate pages.
Well, I've got-
Oh,
Description.
okay.
See, I just clicked what you just did.
I've got 3 page 2s and 2 page 1s.
Yeah. The electronic version is all messed, it didn't come out right.
I click.
No, it's the same thing, every one. I got 2-page ones and I got,
We had a malfunction.
well,
I'll look at those. Sorry.
and some of them actually have Lynn's name attached, so she's the owner.
Oh,
The first time I only had page 1, page 2, now it's very good.
Well, one of them is in the fine print. And that's what it does. Sweet some formatting help.
Did you have a comment?
No, I'm just wondering if are you guys trying to open it from the agenda, or is there a separate, there wasn't another link somewhere, right?
She did send out a separate email with the link as well.
yesterday morning.
Yeah,
There's one little.
the one from the
correction.
agenda I couldn't get to work.
At the bottom of the affirmative action.
Oh,
section.
board. Okay, I see it. I see it. I see it.
Yes.
Thank you for cooperation. How about thank you for your cooperation?
This one looks the same to me, but so it just looks like it might be a Word document and a PDF or
Yeah, I think
two
that's what
different
it is.
versions.
Yeah.
Okay. So page 1, page 1, page 2, page 2.
I think you can sometimes do, like red icon one, the first one is the last one, and that's those are the 2 true pages.
Yeah, click on the ones that are owned by Jen, not the ones that are owned by Lynn.
Looks good though.
Yeah. It looks good. I think you guys, I think you already said it, that moving the Noble Park to here or something over here, because,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
So in the one that of course, I go straight for this, but in the one that I am clicking on from Jen's email, so I don't know if this is the right one. The good news is my name is now consistently spelled. The bad news is they changed one of them to be wrong, so now they're both wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, we'll take care of it.
But I don't. So then I guess I assume that is the right version. If that.
Look at it,
I didn't pay attention to my name.
Well, I had just seen it mine last time, and I always look for that because it's always spelled wrong. Not here; it's spelled wrong everywhere.
I see it.
I see it on the one.
And then it's on.
There's a code of conduct.
Oh, it's the code of conduct. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. We're consistently bad. We'll take care of it.
The original one had the I know you want to do some kind of heading here, but the old one said, welcome to the MSC 60
Yeah.
board,
Yes.
We'll fix that.
Most of them are
Yes.
more, yeah. So you guys did a really good job taking all the feedback from the last meeting and implementing all of it.
Yeah, you need the box that's around some steps too. Is where you should have the stuff to put on this, and everybody that opens us is gonna read it. Right. It's not him. All right, so we'll do some kind of video. Okay. On that.
All right.
All right, we'll come back for.
Take 2 next week. Take 3.
I just have, yes. Oh, good, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I don't know if I'm just seeing this, and I'm not sure if that's the correct version, but I'm sure this will be corrected before it's printed, but it looks like some sections are in a different color. So I would just have somebody check that. I'm not sure if it had to do with edits or just how I'm viewing it.
You mean the background color or the text color?
No, the text color, but it might just be
It looks like this Pete, the,
Concerns are red.
Yeah.
Are in, like, are highlighted in maroonish, I mean, they look maroon, yeah.
yeah,
I can't quite understand sort of the format. So like on one that's board brochure number one that looks like a Word type document, there's like the layout, and then below it is the in Noble, and then there's some, there's like some different font. And then there's also a place where the text is together. It's under Superintendent Audra Beauvais, but I don't know if that's just, I'm not sure what this is for.
Okay, we have to come back for round 3, so we'll make those, we'll double check.
Yeah,
all
it seems like it's all just strange sort of formatting stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So let us move on to the MSMA recap.
Okay, so last Thursday and Friday, Sue and I attended the Maine School Management Association annual conference, and we just kind of wanted to highlight a few things. We attended several sessions. So some of the standout sessions that we attended were, I actually attended one on Maine teacher residency, which was really interesting, just talking a little bit about recruitment of teachers. The big takeaway for me, obviously we all know this, but when they were presenting the information, it was University of Southern Maine that was presenting. So one of their education department chairs was there and talked about that from June until September 1st, they looked at School Spring, which is what we use to post our vacancies. And many schools in the state do. There were 800 vacancies for teachers. And the programs are not anywhere near having that many student teachers coming out. So that was a big, we know that was just a reminder to us how dire the situation is. So that was something that was a takeaway. And then they had some great tips about like at University of Southern Maine, they typically don't have classes on Friday, so that, you know, if you can outreach a little bit, maybe you can get some substitute teachers in for Friday, because it would give them great experience, you know, good experience. So just, they gave little tips on just the college system and what's going on and how we can incorporate some of that into our system. We historically work with University of New Hampshire, and we had a pretty robust program of interns coming in, especially at our high school. But we were talking with AJ this earlier this week, because we were just kind of going through some of this information, and he's thinking we may get like 3 interns this year coming up this next part.
And we only have 3 this year, which is, you know, at one point we used to have like up to 10 or 12. And it's just that the numbers are not going through the system as well. And they also work with 4 other school systems aside from us. So they're just, and there's some of them are a little closer, you know, things like that. Right. So we just talked about expanding our reach a little bit to see if we can get like USM, UNE, St. Joe's, even YCCC if they have like an ed tech, like we've been trying to work on that. I know Age has been working with them. So, but it's just the pipeline's a little less full, you know, with folks interested in the teaching.
Right. Well, right. The other kind of standout one, I think, for Sue and I can speak for that, was strategic plan.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that under other, but that was a really good session that we attended. And then one that really spoke to me as well was a superintendent and student leadership advisory committee, which happens, this district that is hosted that event talked about it. It was like a 7th grade to 12th grade advisory committee, but they figured out quickly that it needed to just be a middle school only advisory committee and then a high school only advisory committee. But that's something that we talked about for a couple of years now, but that really gave some really good information. The thing that was very powerful was the panel of students were there. And that's always so impressive when you hear that. And the goals that they had were very meaty goals. Very meaty goals for their school. And some of it was talking about transition between middle school and high school. Some of it was just talking about equity in the schools for everybody. Some of it was that there was an internet selection that the technology department made, but didn't collect feedback from students, and they were having technology, internet issues. So it was a range of things that they were looking at. So it was very piece. So we're gonna work with AJ on that. Right?
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time with connecting school to the workforce. So I went to 2 or 3 sessions talking about how we could do a little more integration of businesses in our schools and also having our students go out to do more. So, and one of them was pre-K to 12. So that was really interesting. What they were talking about how to bring into the elementary classrooms real life scenarios that supported that connection between education and the careers. So those were both really interesting. And one was a tiny little school up in northern Maine. And I think we're going to chat with them a little bit more because I think there's, as different as they are, there's quite a bit of similarities between some of our work. We also did a whole session, both Dr. Mann went to the one on using social media for good instead of evil. So that, and I think our first steps with the staff here have been great. So, and I'm actually very excited about the expanding student voice piece. So that was our first delve in, and now we're going to probably suck you in a little bit more. We need a larger group of students that are supporting and informing you as a board. Excited about that. That's great. Yeah, it was fun. It was all good. And then the keynote speaker, what was his name? He speaks all over the country. He uses his book is called The Truth Edge. And it just talks about integrity and in the work that you do on a daily basis. And it was a well received, I think, from the part of everybody, particularly this right now, with the struggles that we're having sort of politically and, in terms of our educational world. He just brought a good strong message through. It was mostly, I would say a third of us were superintendent or folks there, but the rest of it was all board members. So that was, I think, well received as well. Good.
Going back to the issue of recruiting,
Yes.
did they have any tips for, besides going out to the universities, for other ways to keep and retain students?
One of the ways that they suggested was to look at your senior class and see who is going into education in college to keep that connection so that they could potentially come back to student teach in the district and then be
Or sub after
Yeah,
the first year
and then
of
be in a
college.
position to apply for positions in the district, having had their student teaching experience here and having gone through school here. So that was one big takeaway I think that we all had.
Great.
That was a really good kind of piece to engage our students and help with that piece as well.
Great.
In connection to that, I actually had someone who emailed me after the last newsletter went out, just with a question on what career internship program was, because I had mentioned that in my little thing. They also brought up that UNH is looking for interns, looking to get them anywhere they can. They said that they're having trouble placing them. The number has gone down. So that would be a good place if you guys don't get overwhelmed.
Did they have any insight as to why the numbers of young people going into teaching is diminishing?
They did not really address that issue. They focus more on the
What can you do about
proactive, how to be proactive.
I think it probably has a lot to do with the political climate, the fact that irrational parents are attacking not just the school board, but the teachers, limiting what they're allowed to do and complaining about what they're doing. I wouldn't go into teaching nowadays.
I will say this though, Lynn, most of them aren't our parents. It's more than our, I almost honestly feel it's outside the realm of our families and more just like the political pieces, it is there for sure. But I mean, we see some of it, but in terms of on the majority, our families are super supportive, our parents are super supportive. It's definitely something's going on.
Thank you. It seems like it was very worthwhile.
Yes,
Your
yes.
time.
And we struggle sometimes leaving the district for 2 full days.
Oh, I'm sure.
So we were not grateful that it was definitely worth it.
Good. Okay, so next, our MSAD 60 safety information session
Sure.
update.
Okay, so we just held that at 5:30 this afternoon, so that's why it's hot off the press. We, thank you, we had it taped, so we had a safety forum for families, primarily to hear a little bit about what the principals and the building leaders came in and talked with you all about a couple weeks ago. But we really wanted to focus more on the drills, about the evacuation drill, the fire drill, the evacuation drill, and then the drill to when you stay in the classroom. And so we had Officer Fogg and Officer Helker here, just talking a little bit about the training that the staff went through that you all heard prior to that session. And then, we talked a little bit about how it may look in the classroom, not with a lot of detail, because we don't want to share that, but just that there are options for teachers if they're in a situation where they're in the classroom and they needed to lock down, that there are some options for that. And the reason why we did that is because we're going to start between now and our goal is between now and December break to run a more specific drill, developmentally appropriate for in the classroom. And we're going to share that information out with parents, but this was the kind of the first step of that. So it's been recorded and it's being posted.
It's just finished posting like 5 minutes ago.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. So that will be on our webpage. It's also going out to at least the Berwick Police Department is going to share that on their Facebook page. I'm not sure about North Berwick.
I think
So,
you will, yeah.
And we fully expect that we will likely have more sessions to go through this, especially once parents hear a little bit more, if their student comes home and says, oh, we did this differently, or, oh, this. So we expect to have more sessions, but we just wanted to, like I said, have this initial one just to kind of lay the groundwork.
Did you have a good turnout? I mean, was it?
So what do you think, Trev?
Yeah, there was just us emergency responders, 4 of us. Plus the school administration, 3 of them.
Babysitting or anything, because I was like, I heard it, but I would love my husband to, but we would forget the whole thing.
We did not.
But I'm watching recording, thank you for making it available.
Yes.
Our thought process is that the presentation that now is available online will definitely stir some questions for people, and my guess is we'll probably do it all.
Yes.
Yeah, which perhaps we can try to get our.
Like, is that, I don't know, is that ever a thing, like,
Sometimes we're able to, sometimes we're able to offer babysitting. It's really just working with guidance to see if they can help for folks that need community service. That's usually what happens.
I think one of the other important things we got to do is send out a save the date
Yeah.
and then send out the reminder 2 days before I did, because 2 days before my schedule doesn't allow
Yeah.
for me to come into a time frame, but you tell me a month ago or a week ago, and then I can put it on my calendar and then it'll be there, but.
So more to come. It's just the update, yeah.
Great, thank you. And now an employment update.
So we have one teacher resignation that we need to have a motion in a second, and that's Amanda Logan. She's currently a special education teacher at Knowlton School. Prior to that, she was at the middle school, and she has accepted a position at York. And she will be, her notice is to finish up right at Thanksgiving. If approved by this board.
Do we have a motion to accept Amanda's resignation?
I'll make that.
Do we have a second? A second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Oh, Denise, did you have a question?
I was agreeing. I was supporting the motion.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
That's it.
Employment.
All right, and now we are up to other.
So really quickly, just we are adding a second executive session. And Elva has the information, but I'm just formally
We need to
requesting.
add it.
that
We have to-
add it Into the agenda because it's late notice.
I'll make a motion to add that executive session into our agenda.
Thank you.
Do we have a second? And all those in favor?
Okay, I didn't hear who was second.
Alba.
Elva, she do it with the silent hand.
She's the second.
I think, you know,
I have another, and it's from the Town of Berwick's Parade Committee. They want to invite you guys all to march in the parade on December 3rd at 1:30. You have to be there by
What's the parade?
the Christmas parade.
Oh.
You have to be there by 1:15 if you want to get into the parade. So, and that's for all, not just Berwick, but for all members of the board.
It is fun.
Mhm.
It's a good
It's
turnout.
It's the Christmas parade.
I know, but like.
The Berwick Christmas Parade Committee. It has actually become one of the, if not, in my personal opinion, the best parade in the area.
Yeah.
It's gotten really big,
Yes.
and don't mind me if I'm crabby that day, because I'm the one that's got to organize it and line everybody up, and I can get it's a little snippy sometimes. Depends on how pleasant the public is with me.
So
I have been in it before and it is fun and there's always a great turnout. So it's definitely worth doing if you feel like a fun day.
Yeah, we have a certain spot where all elected officials will walk in the parade all together.
Where's the place for them to?
And
At 1:15.
the Prime Tannen parking lot,
The what?
the Prime Tannen parking lot,
Prime Tannen.
the Sullivan Street and Wilson Street intersection.
1:15. Right.
And it walks, I want to say it's like maybe a 2 mile walk. It goes into Summersworth, and then you can walk back.
That is.
So-
Unless you park your car
Correct.
there and then, yeah.
Correct.
Right,
Yes, December 3rd.
okay. It's on me.
Thank you. That sounds fun. Any others?
Just gonna say another great newsletter put out. Maybe that's good, and I like just have the safety meeting and stuff in there, which I thought was a good reminder too. But it's good, the highlights were good on you guys and everything, so good, nice job.
We appreciate all you're doing. Thanks.
We did want to talk a little bit about the strategic plan.
Yes?
Right, yeah, I can talk about it.
Okay.
So it is coming to the end of our 5-year strategic plan, so we would like to start the process of going forward so that we can be ready, at least by the fall, to have another 5-year plan in place. So in the past, we've done kind of long, extended planning committee. I think Audra and I attended a session that was pretty succinct in terms of like, doing our meetings a little more strategically, as we say, so that we're not back from different constituents within the community. So we're working on setting up some sort of forums and opportunities for people to bring forward their thoughts and just hopes really about the future for the district. So we will set up over the next probably, I'm hopeful by our next board meeting, I'll have sort of a timeline for everybody to think about what we're doing and try to get people on board to be part of the committees and part of the work groups. So that is that's the short-term piece of it. And our hope, in the past, we've used outside facilitators. We're going to try to do this ourselves. I think we can do that without, and Melanie was stuck here to help us get the word out a little bit more, to get more information from from the whole community. Really want to engage our students more too this time around and try to get this better information. Our strategic plan is not bad. It just needs to be updated more than anything. So there are some things that we will look at to say, have we met our goals and do we need to move on for those? And are there new things that have come in the past 5 years that we need to really be
So would it address the lack of space issues that we're having in the elementary
Exactly,
school?
exactly. So there's some big pieces that we need to be working on. And we'll have to like sort of, basically set up some priority lists and what we're gonna be working on. Yep. So, anything else?
Just that we need to charge from the committee, the
Oh,
board,
to say,
to say, oh yeah, move ahead.
yeah. We do need you to say we need a new strategic plan.
I motion that we need a review and maybe a new strategic plan.
Thanks, yeah.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
Go forth and plan.
Okay, so my hope is by the next meeting, I'll have a template for you guys to be thinking about. What are those things that really burn your development? You can start providing some feedback now.
Speaking of that, is our next meeting Thanksgiving?
That's right.
I think it's the week
It's the week before,
Today's the
That's-
third,
yes,
right?
yes.
The 17th.
Okay.
right? Yeah.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, 17th. I would love to see you all on Thanksgiving, but maybe not.
Only if we bring a dish.
Yeah.
Okay, so does it look like we have anybody who'd like to make public input?
Want to say anything, Stockton?
So at this point, do I ask if people would like to go into,
So what we need to let the public know is that we will not be doing any more public after we finish our executive session. So that like beyond this, it'll be just an adjournment.
okay,
So that's just a statement for everybody. And then I need to ask somebody to do a motion to go into executive session.
So we should though, because we have two,
Yeah.
we should make a motion to go into the first one.
Yes.
And then maybe.
And then,
Come out.
well, we should at least inform them that we're gonna go into a second executive session.
So we're gonna-
So at least if they know the topics of what we're going into executive session for.
So the first executive session is for,
Elva's gonna read it.
right,
Okay, so I make a motion that we go into executive session pursuant to MRSA 4056A, assignment of officials, appointees, employees. Next one.
right, and then we'll do another one for.
One MRSA 4056D, labor contract discussion.
I'll second her motion for the first one.
Okay.
I'll second it.
all those in favor?
All right. All right, thanks, guys. Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Good night,
Thank you,
Stockton.
thank you.